Hey everybody, this is Herschel from High School Top 200, and this next installment is the number 14 ranked team in the country, and that is Palmerston North Boys High School. And I got to see Palmy Boys play St. Paul's in this preseason, and Tyler didn't even play, and they were already good, and they were still good. Tyler, because Tyler's one of the guys that I think is going to be a New Zealand secondary school player. I think that he's going to be in there at either like the blindside number 8 lock kind of range, because he's so tall as well. He could even pass as a lock, especially if he grows a bit more this year as well. And even when they played them, Stuart Cruden sort of had everything on lock. And Stuart didn't even look like he was under pressure or panicking that whole time. Even though the game was somewhat close for a little bit, he just went through his motions, went through the systems, and just got everything done. Now I can only imagine what it's going to be like with Tyler, and like how, and because I haven't seen him this year, and how, if he's gotten a lot bigger, or if he's thickened out a lot more. Because if that's the case, then you're really watching someone that's going to be pretty dominant this year. NASA title with Flynn Yates and Gus Robinson. Gus Robinson I like a lot. He's a prop. Gus is a really hard working player, and he's one of those guys that gets things done. He's the rugged guy in the team. Scrums really well, really tight. I think I picked him up as one of my Crusaders selections for the under-18s too, and I think he's going to work out. I really do think he's that good, and so from that point of view, I think that they've got a good front row that would set them up, and set piece time, things like that. Would deliver good scrums, be able to hold themselves as well. Harry Newman, Tom Finlay looked at as being the locks, with Elijah Croswell, Tamari Ruawai, and then Tyler Lobeshaw as well at blindside. Now, whether that is the rotation or not, or whether they've changed it up a little bit, they've still got a lot of talent within that range to dominate other teams within the Super 8. Tyler himself is going to be a problem, just trying to maintain what he does throughout the game. And then you still got Gus. Then you still got Nasser, who's a big year 11 kid that is aggressive, and he just when he's really fit, he's going to take over the game, and he's a hard-working kid too. So him getting fit over this year, if he hits it at year 12 and he just comes back to school like that, learning from everything that he's learned this year, he's going to be a good player that we're going to see over the next couple of years. Elijah Croswell as well is probably a kid, him and Tamari Ruawai, who are probably two kids that I think are both year 12s as well. Both of them, I think, are guys that we should watch out a little bit more for as well, because they are just really strong defenders, and they defend first. They get in and over the ball, and they're safe tacklers as well. They're safe tacklers to the point where they want to make the tackle work first, so the tackling is always the first. But they're not going to be one of those guys that tries to just rip the ball off or anything like that while he's still gaining meters, and you're still trying to rip at the ball. Then at the end you don't get him, and he's already made like 9-10 meters, and so it's just like, well, then all that raking at the ball is a waste of time. These kind of guys, they make the tackle first, and then they take care of that, all the other stuff after. Those are the kind of guys that I think are going to work good around someone like Tyler, who won't have to go into sort of every single game thinking that he has to do this, and this, that are sort of sometimes outside of his his responsibilities and duties on the field. So having guys like Tamati and Elijah are going to work out well for him, especially when you can have line-out options with Harry Newman, Tom Finlay, and with Tyler. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how that they work all that kind of stuff out. The forward pack's going to be really good, really strong and quick. And they got some good go-forward runners as well. So when time comes that they're going to start punching in holes into the defense right around the rucks and things like that, and having guys coming back into the defense and into the ruck situations, just trying to sort of suck everybody in, that is going to work. That's going to work for them, and it's really going to help Stuart Cruden out as well when they start getting that ball out into the back line. They had Corey Winters and Josh Moate out in the centers and second five and center. And I kind of look at it in a way because, like, Stuart, I think, can work with anybody. I think if you get players around him, he'll just figure out how to use them after just watching them train and be like, well, if this kid's strengths is this, then we're going to work it that way so that he can expose, the good traits about a player and the good abilities that this kid has. And so Stuart Cruden's great in that way, where he can he gets to know his players really well, and he knows exactly what they can and can't do, and he plays to the strengths of them, which is the way that you want it. Like, you don't want guys to adjust because you're telling them, oh, you just have to adjust to me, and then it doesn't actually work out for the team. Where I think Stuart Cruden is a team player, and he does it the way that he feels like will make the team better, even if it means that he has to adjust himself as well to whatever the situation is. A kid that I really liked was Ruben Love, and just the way that he attacks and the speed that he has going on the outside. I think that he's going to be, because I had him playing at fullback as well as at center, and I really liked him at center as well. So whatever they figure out after that, it's going to be pretty interesting the way that they set all that kind of stuff up. And I had at St. Paul's, there was a try that he missed that I had on film, but I didn't want to put it out because it was pretty embarrassing. But I mean, it's just things like that you learn, I guess. I think he would have had 3 tries in that game, but he ended up with 2. And I think, and Ruben to me is one of those guys that is going to be scoring a lot of tries this year, and Stuart's going to be the one that sets a lot of that up. So when you go and watch these guys, everything that goes on is going to revolve around Stuart, and it's going to be pretty hard to predict when and where he's going to be going to throughout the game. Stuart may even be able to do it himself. But I mean, if you've got Corey, Joshua, and Ruben there, why not let it out to everybody else? Try and get everybody else in there. I mean, Brian Wilson at halfback is going to be pretty important as well, and he's going to be a handy player to have when he just needs the help. Brian's always going to be there, and he's going to have a lot of confidence in him, so that that everything's going to go smoothly. Palmy's going to be pretty interesting. I think the games this year in the Super 8 are going to be pretty intense, pretty close games, and probably one of the best seasons for Super 8 rugby. So if you get along to Palmy Boys, and you can go have a watch and see what I mean. That's my review for Palmy Boys. Sitting at number 14 in the rankings. They will change though. Peace.